So I'm going to make another video today about the Russian espionage in Slovenia. I was here in this newspaper. It's called the Slovenske novice, the Slovenian, the news the Slovenian way. Yeah, even Prince Charles, now King Charles, was trying to explain to me the meaning of this in the Slovenian language, what it means. But I don't think he understood shit. Even when it comes to, it's an easy translation. Slovenske, that basically means, well, that's where it gets complicated, and he did not understood shit. Slovenske means it's a variation of things that might mean. But in this case, it means that it belongs to Slovenes. And novice, that means news. This is the proper translation of this garbage that you see right there. And I traced this, every one of these apparatchiks here, the so-called journalists, was involved in torture. The whole newspaper, in every fucking newspaper, mainstream media paper, and not only mainstream media, but also smaller outlets, where all people were all involved in this. Apparatchiks were all involved in this stuff. See nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. Slovenian police, Slovenian psychiatry required them so that I could see myself, everything I would read, as a loser, as wrong. That's how they do this stuff. Stumbled upon this article where it says, a 26-year-old Ukrainian, yeah, a saxophone player, found peace in the city where I am from. This is not a local media or something like that. That applies to entire Slovenia. That people read from all regions in Slovenia. This garbage. It's quite insulting when you see shit they do, the stuff they publish. I mean, stuff they do is nothing other than damage, from what I see, from what I have seen and watched. And they call themselves Slovenes. Found peace in the city of the Novo Mesto, and is a 26-year-old Ukrainian saxophonist. Shit. He was involved in my case, MKUČAN, with his father, with his girlfriend that you see right there. And yep, he was even a nice guy. First time I landed in Slovenia, talking about his father, that you see right there on the right side, in 2006. I don't know what happened to the mom. I don't know what the situation was. But something happened to mom, whatever the situation was. And he landed right here in Slovenia. Talking about the husband right there that you see on the right side. And the son you see is right there on the left side. And he was interested in helping me. Well, when he landed here in Slovenia, actually in 2004, but in 2006 he was already extremely well established by the local KGB. By Borut PAHOR, he got attention from Borut PAHOR, Milan KUČAN, and it was in Ljubljana. They assisted him best to their abilities. It's Ukrainian, and then you already have to ask yourself, what the fuck is going on here? Well, his name alone explains a lot that goes on. The son and the saxophonist player is Maksym Mushtaiev. To understand this name, the best would be to use a translator before I would even go and translate, because this is the second time I am recording this anyhow. it becomes evident that this is a very, very, very Russian name. Extremely, extremely Russian. If translated, it looks like this. And there is only one place this name traces to. It traces all over the Russia. It's very, very, very Russian. And now there will be people who say, oh no, 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 you know, it's just the same. It's the same. The Russian and Ukrainian is the same. This is how they rationalize these things. Yeah, it is. In many ways it is. It is the same. In this video you will understand exactly why and how it's the same in many cases. That's what we are doing. We are doing this so we educate people, so we make people understand what the fuck goes on with all this stuff. He's a 26-year-old Ukrainian. In 2017, when I immigrated to Belarus, and I was hijacked from the Belarus immediately for the sake of Russian espionage. That time I was hijacked to Germany. I was hijacked to this beautiful scenic place after the total bestiality ended for me in this location here that you see here. It says Königlich Hannoversches Wappen. And I was sure that I got myself it's a bit strange name, but there you go. It's called, no, that's called Artlenburger Dijkverband. No. That's a totally different issue. So we have a Vitebsk here, and Alexander Lukashenko. Some people call him a dictator, but the people that call him a dictator, I don't give a much fuck, because they don't really mean it. I would too, but when they don't mean it, what the hell is to me to call him a dictator when, you know, for Ursula von der Leyen or whatever they call him, von der Leyen, I mean dictator, when nasty, filthy stuff like this went on. I was brought here, this is not too far even from Hamburg. Yes, when a Russian female immigrated. The Germans got themselves Russians all over the Germany. And this one was from Belarus. And what they were using me was to establish themselves in the eyes of the Germans. And now I filed for political asylum in Belarus in 2017 and was brought here for her sake, so she could, I don't know, get a better job. I don't know what it was, but they performed again bestiality on me, and once they were done, I demonstrated the picture. That's basically what they do. I guess I was not interested in marriage with her in Germany, and they were not happy about it. And I was transferred back to the Belarus before I was kicked out, and you already know how it went in the Belarus with this political asylum. This is directly connected to this case. It's quite interesting. Is that Lukashenko, before Vladimir Putin assaulted Ukraine, made sure that he would create a bloody revolution over there through the so-called opposition in Belarus to destroy one preemptively before the war on Ukraine. As they feared that there would be Belarus people that would raise the guns in solidarity with the Ukrainian people. And then there was another fake revolution that went on because Putin wanted to make sure that there would be no people that would assist Ukrainians that would want to stop the war in Ukraine, the bloodshed. And that one was known under pseudonym Alexei Navalny. So they locked the people up, they destroyed people, and once they locked them, destroyed them, that's when they assaulted. It was just a gradual, systematic destruction of any kind of opposition, anybody that would even dare think about opposing anything in respect to Putin. And then Alexei Navalny also disappeared. We have the opposition like this in Slovenia, we always had. So what's going on is, this man that I demonstrated you, this man is definitely not a Ukrainian. Even that it says here that he is a 26-year-old Ukrainian saxophonist. He might have been born in Ukraine, but there is a whole lot about this guy not Ukrainian. I think his mother passed away, might have been so in 2004, whatever the case was. Even maybe earlier, I should say like in 2004, 2003, I would say. He is from a Ukrainian city in a Sumy region. Don't know about one being a Ukrainian, but I know one thing. I know that he is from the city where this, the way I see him, based on what I will tell you, he alone told me, this is a Russian pervert, this is a Russian psychopath, maniac. Psychopath, classic, young. Here he is actually posing with a picture. It says right there on the flowers right there, it says Vash okay. That means yours okay. That was to remind me that he is here to help me out. This individual told me, personally, the MK Ultra told me, let me demonstrate you where he is from. Because this is really concerns you, whatever you are in the West or you are in Eastern Europe, wherever the fuck you are, it concerns you. He told me this is the city. And they did negotiate it, this city. Putin negotiated this city. This is the city where his father participated in talks inside of our house with his son. Knew all about it, both of them were. That the Russians decided are going to make completely flat. Like flat, like without fucking house standing on the, you know, with the walls up. Erased. Diabolically. You understand? And he said, the only thing I'll be doing in Slovenia, I'll be playing a saxophone and be laughing myself. This is a classic Russian diabolic crap. So, they travel first class, they travel where the houses, jobs, financial aid already are awaiting them. And this directly into the country where I am, and where I was denied the right to exist for 54 years, to offer me help. They come like this young In this case, they actually even bring the spouse with them, which is a bit strange. Usually the local police here in Slovenia would make sure that they would get whatever is suitable for them. And that some Slovenian would bite the road, dust, find himself maybe inside of the jail or psychiatric hospital, or killed or whatever instead. That's how they travel. They travel in the same way as Sergei Mikhailovich Brin, a Russian Jew, associate from Vladimir Putin, traveled to United States of America with his parents. This is the man, a co-partner, owner of the Google, blogger, YouTube, who started to negotiate my existence, not my existence, but existence of the future blog, my blog, in as early as in 2004 with the Slovenian police. That's how good United States of America is to the Russians. They make sure that the Russians would feel comfortable, competent by bringing their own apparatchiks from United States of America to assist them, best to their abilities. With the Eastern European governments or whatever governments around the world, they want to cause turmoil, death, devastation. Or negotiate with the local police, basically, wherever the target is located. Eye to eye, face to face. Of course, we're talking about these animals here. The cockroaches, which remain inside in there from the so-called Yugoslavia, a greater Serbian Chetnik state, because they allowed them to stay in there and to continue to act as a police officers. Nobody took initiative to occupy police stations and kick them out, and instead install new, from reputable Slovenian families, sons, daughters, people that would serve the purpose to the people. Nobody gave a fuck about that. JANŠA didn't. Luis PETERLE didn't. Igor Boucher didn't. A whole bunch of these criminals went on to assist the old Yugoslav communist boss Milan KUČAN instead, by appointing him as a Slovenian president on 2 terms. It's quite unbelievable. And then it was another communist, Drnovšek, that came as a president, and then it was another communist, Danilo Turk, that was appointed, and then it was another communist that was appointed. Borut Pahor was his name, and then Borut Pahor, KUČAN, and all this, they appointed Natasha Pirc-Musar, who officially was not communist, so they went a little bit more undercover. But there was not a trace of this so-called Slovenian independence. They turned themselves into the victims. They liberated the country and they turned themselves into the victims inside of the country. They demanded for the world to see in them hostages. And they did so once they threw me even into a psychiatric hospital in 2012 after 38 years of bestiality performed on me. Drugs, hijacking, poisoning, drugging up, brainwashing, MK Ultra procedure. Bestiality performed inside of the psychiatric hospitals across the Russia, prisons inside of the Russia, Slovenia, Poland even, Belarus, Slovenes. And so you might want to say, if there are just few of them in Slovenia, well, you know, this garbage here was meeting their partners in Russia. The psychiatrists from Ljubljana Poly were arriving to the Russia to see how it's done with the people like myself. Take a note of it. Interior Ministry, Miran Sodin participated together with the Juršić, with the Štefanić. They observed the preparations, military preparations literally, together with Golob, KUČAN, and the rest of the garbage that would travel their off assignments, whatever assignments, to the Russia. Invasion on Ukraine, future invasion on Ukraine. So this family of three that you see right there that traveled, the father Ruslan and the son, let me see, the son is Maksym, right? Maksym is the son, Maksym. They're not alone here in Slovenia. No. He was already here in Slovenia before. He already befriended here the locals here. The Krka pharmaceutical director was summoned, and so was this Pavlic, whoever she is, organizer of this concert, of this Pihalni orchestra, the orchestra from the Krka pharmaceutical. Alexandra Pavlic is a president of this orchestra. They summoned these Slovenian assholes, like, you know, I think that what they portrayed, like in Allo, you know, in that French comedy that is, they're making humor about these Germans, you know, the way they summon their subordinates and stuff, or a village people where they occupy the, you know, wherever that show goes. Exactly, like almost like that, you know, and these assholes comply, and it's the stuff that I have seen during MK Ultra is just totally bizarre, totally bizarre. Yeah, this was a Vash okay, this stuff here, did you see? Yours okay means on your side, we are siding with you, you'll be okay. Yeah, I'll be okay. You know what? Don't worry about my be okay. What I do is I make sure. Oh, they already know them in this orchestra. He already played in this orchestra. He already rehearsed with this orchestra. They came inside of our house and death threatened and tortured. It was only people from local hospital, psychiatry, police, all kinds of visitors, journalists, and apprentices. There would be all kinds of garbage was coming here in this home of my parents here in the Novo Mesto. There was all kinds of garbage that found its way here. This is basically how it's done. This is exactly the way this stuff is done. This is why we're recording this. We're recording this. You may want to read this really good, this stuff here, and understand one. Let me shut up a little bit, and I'm going to scroll down, use the pause button, so you can read over this stuff, and then you continue with the video. This is why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video to make people understand what actually goes on, because this guy here, this guy already had influence with a few Barabichiks, bastards, over the rest of the people. And this is how this disease is spreading around. Whether it's a job or it's orchestra or whatever the fuck you're going to find them, you won't be allowed to display who and what you are, how you do represent yourself, how you see yourself when you see yourself in a mirror, or where you walk down the street and you see a girl, a boy, whatever it is that you like, that you would, and you will not, because you are inside of the Kaliningrad #2 prison. It's called Slovenia. This is bastardia is what this shit is. This is why this video, because there is somebody out there that, contrary to your human rights ombudsmans and your local police departments and your constitutional courts, supreme courts, whatever the fuck you call them, lack of empathy from United Nations or European Union Commissioner, let's say Ursula von der Leyen, or US Justice Department of State, the Civil Rights Division, in case you are a citizen like I am, or European Union Court for Human Rights, let's say, located in Strasbourg, whatever might be there, that is ignoring your needs. It is my needs. To stress out, to wake you up from this bullshit nightmare, to open your eyes and understand that you're not the only person who sees these things. This video to explain to you about what the mainstream media or any kind of media will not. Because the situation we have in this country here, which borders the Italy, Austria, the most Western country when it comes to, it's a tiny little country. Oh, it's too damn bad I closed that one out. We need to update, we need to explain basically about the stuff that's happening. What the fuck is going on? We need to update. The war is not only going on in the Ukraine, if that's not bad enough. This shit is going on in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and Lithuania, and Latvia, and Estonia. Everywhere is going this shit. This shit is going everywhere. Nobody talks about it. Alright, I cannot say that it goes everywhere, but it definitely goes in Belarus. It definitely goes in Moldova. It definitely goes in this Transnistria. It definitely goes. What I found strange with this family here was just the fact that they are from Ukraine. And they were actually talking about the Russian community in Ukraine, Ukrainians for torture. Because they would be the one coming to Slovenia. They had in plan long before 2004 to come to Slovenia, and it wouldn't just be the right thing for them to get involved in the torture. They are so practical, Russians. Really. They are so practical, they are so intelligent, they're just really, really so smart. One of the last things they discussed was this city here that I demonstrated, this this Ukrainian enclave in the Sumy region. As Putin said that he's gonna fucking erase these cities. They were in our home. They spoke about how to view the situation. It became evident with a tremendous joy on the face of the father and son that they are going to flatten this fucking place. And this is what in Slovenia they call Ukrainian, it's Ukrainets. It's a Ukrainian, Ukrainsky. Oh, we have a lot of disease like this that spread itself from Ukraine, I should say Russia, to Slovenia, through my case. And guess what? I don't want to be a disease spreader. I don't want to be an infection that parasites are going to be using to infest another locations with. I want to stand up and expose this garbage, because I'm not the one. You need to talk to Ursula von der Leyen about this shit. You need to talk about the George Bush. You have garbage inside of the White House. You have Angela Merkel you need to talk to about this stuff. You need to talk to plenty of these garbagers who did this. I did not. And in my name, this disease is not going to be spreading around. The Russian spies that supposedly were caught in Slovenia and who participated inside of our house, the Russian spies with whom Tanya Fajon, the minister, external minister of Slovenia, threatened me with, will depart if you will not like Russians. And they did depart. They made the fake case against them before delivering them to the airport in Moscow, where Vladimir Putin would personally meet them. They were inside of our house. What's interesting is, this is just few, it was a whole bunch of them. Ah, they turned it on. They turned it on. That's very good. That's very good, because earlier when I was doing this stuff here, and guess what happened? I would just not get any feedback when I was doing this stuff. Putin met Russian spies from Slovenia. This is just right now we did. But at 1:40, Russian spies are expelled from Slovenia. Putin. They did not even mention anything about this Russian spies. Basically, if you don't enter exactly the words they want you to enter, you will not even know that we have any kind of affairs in Slovenia. Why the hell? This is in English language. In Slovenian it was not any better, which is even crazier. This shit is so twisted, man. Ruski vohuni v Sloveniji, Russian spies in Slovenia, and I misspelled here. I apologize for that. Still, I don't see one single thing about the Russian spies in Slovenia, and this is in the Slovenian language. Where the fuck do we live in? What the hell is this? It's like air bubble. Like country with like a fucking most severe case of amnesia. Parkinson that they were trying to instill in me. They wanted to instill in me dementia and Parkinson literally through the sleep deprivation. Drive me absolutely insane. Should a country like this be? I'm asking to the World Health Organization about this. Is this like healthy, this stuff like this for the world? I mean, is this normal? Is this okay? Is it legitimate to have the country like this participate in the United Nations? Why won't you call evil evil? Rather than allow one to take sides and even participate in a bigger or lesser evil. He found peace in the Novomesto city. He found peace. He found the peace here in the Novomesto city. He came and found peace. He came here in, obviously, in a love. Loves it here. It's beautiful. He speaks Slovenian. Wow. So I guess this is what the fuck we need. And that is about the culture and the Slovenian language that he's learning eagerly. I bet the Ukrainians also found peace wherever he came from. Ruski brat, the Russian brother. There is something about this Eastern European mentality that dictates everyone must adhere to its national heritage, and the national heritage adheres to a return of the Russian brother waiting line, basically to a waiting line. And it's like you would be standing up in front of the Russian slaughterhouse, or where it will be a sign posted, a return of the Russian brother. And it just must be this way because we are all Eastern Europeans, is what they teach us. Yes, we are all Eastern Europeans. Don't even think about getting married to a German or British or a Dutch or Swedish, Norwegian or French or Italian or Spanish or whatever it might be, Western. Because as they send you a females, they did send the females, even from Romania, even from the Hungary they did. I even had a girl that claimed me that she is not Slavic, that is okay. We are all Eastern Europeans. It was like tremendous backlash toward any marital connections one would do with West. It still is. My jesteśmy polskimi patriotami. We are Ukrainians, we are Romanians, we are whatever the fuck we are, Hungarians or whatever. It's like some kind of phobia, something that is telling people, it is. You read about this Red Baron phobia, that they should not tie their knots with ladies from the West or men from the West. It's like, don't you think we have more in common or whatever? It is blatant, basically, this stuff. From anything that would change, alter this Uzorets, a sample matrix of the Eastern European return of the Russian brother ideology. It's like it's a fucking blueprint, basically, for everybody that must follow a certain patterns that is considered as a normal and not normal, so that you would look normal in your society and you know to look normal and other people would think about you and this and that. Sick shit. Sickening and sick. I'm not going to say that repeating the same mistake is a definition of insanity, which it is. I said mistake, not repeating the same things, but I said expecting the different outcome and repeating the same mistakes. It's a definition of the insanity. It is, because if it's a mistake, it's a proven mistake, and you repeat one, it's just really insanity. Repeating the same thing might be actually a learning process, but repeating the mistakes is not. How the hell do you expect different if you keep doing the same shit, teaching one another like crazy chickens, waiting for the boss to come and take you out of misery? When Russians come to the Germany, you know, they respect the Germans. When the Russians come to the Britain, they respect the British. When they come to the Sweden, they respect Swedish. And the same thing is when they come to the Finland or they come to the Norway or wherever the fuck they come. They respect. They keep their mouth shut. They do whatever the fuck they're told to do. They comply. But when they come, they comply because they know they're going to get their ass kicked if they're going to mouth shit, if they're going to shit mouth. They know they're going to fly out of the country. They know it's going to be police knocking on the doors. They know they're going to grab them. They know they're going to throw them in the jail. They know they're going to pay their dues. There will be severe consequences. They know. But when they come to Poland, when they come to Ukraine, when they come to Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, or even Romania or Bulgaria or Hungary or Czech Republic, Slovakia, they're actually encouraged by the Russian government to act like bosses. They like to boss around. They like to act in a particular way. They like to challenge. In other words, they like to profile the society and individuals and the society, how one will respond, so they know exactly how to which department to apply pressure and get things done from outside of the country. It's nothing other than espionage, which eventually, over the course of time, brings the Russian brother at your door, start knocking on the door with a war. This is the way it is. Repeating the same mistakes. Why the fuck do you need independence? Why the fuck do you need your national sovereignty? Why do you need to repeat the same mistakes? When the only thing that is going to get them away and out is a difference in national identity. The bigger the difference, the more uncomfortable they feel when they come and hopefully leave. Unless you want the crazy Russian brother to stay a little bit longer. I had to stress this issue out because it concerns entire Eastern Europe. It's this type of Red Baron mentality that is screwing up entire Eastern Europe. And if something isn't going to be done about it, we're going to have a serious fucking problem. I couldn't have a bigger problem than what I have, but as far as the Eastern Europe, entire Eastern Europe, it looks like if they will be hosting a parasite from within that already have drilled big holes in it, and the whole thing is going to, it's a matter of time before it's going to succumb. One state after another. I saw today that they are bombing heavily here. Ukraine. Man, I saw that they are loading Ukraine with, they loaded with the 600 drones, and they're using those almost nuclear equivalent hypersonic missiles to burn one down. Actually, Ukraine is on fire. It's not a good picture. It's a pretty bad picture with the people that we have inside of the European Union, for whom I would say I do not understand what the fuck is going on with these people at all. Not only because of my case, which sets a totally new prestige. The shit I'm talking about isn't happening because of the Russians. I hope you understand that. It's happening because of the institutions I called out. It's also happening because of the German Bundestag, because of the British Common House, because of the British Parliament, because of American Congress. Isn't everything about the White House even? And that one stinks that it couldn't stink more than what it does. It's happening because of those that either they know something I don't know, or they are simply fucking crazy. Because this war in Ukraine, I hope you understand that, and I know you do. This war in Ukraine is going to bring more wars. This is just a footstep for the wars that will follow. Russia is well economically tied to China and India, which support well this economically, militarily, supply Russia. I understand it was like 400,000 Africans that volunteered to the Russian military. And Russians are training in China and so on. And as I think about this stuff here, and I see this is a recipe for disaster, because this is the same thing like you have a wild animal, like bear or wolf or something that comes at the edge of the city and wanders inside of the city. The further they wander inside, they always come back. And with the time, they continue to progress more into the center. This is about the same shit, isn't it? I mean, we're dealing with something that, thanks God, is still somewhat far away from here. But, the question is, do you actually want to have a neighbor like this as a European? Because they will come back and they will cause more devastation. It's just nasty, naughty shit that keeps rebuilding itself, and it will come back and it will hunt it with more damage, and hopefully one day might even turn into a total destruction of the Europe. I said hopefully, for Kremlin, whom you guys somehow understand better than it appears to be that you understand Ukraine. It was for me, I wouldn't want to have this Russian brother. To be honest with you, this is a Ural right here. I wouldn't even want to have them up to the fucking Ural. Because this is nothing other than a problem. And it's a serious problem. And this problem will keep coming back and causing more and more devastation. We have this crazy Russian espionage going throughout the Europe, while controlling the stuff the way I explained, and literally through the people that seem to be even, I don't know, this is talk about the culture and about, I don't want to talk about stuff known as culture, but this shit goes beyond the pretty faces and youth and innocence. These motherfuckers were negotiating with Vladimir Putin, talking to Vladimir Putin inside of our kitchen, how the city where they are from is going to be burned to the fucking ground, and they actually wanted to have it burned to the fucking ground. Year was still 2017, all the way to 2017. Father and son were coming inside of our house. They figure out they're going to make one flat. So it makes sense to make some money in between before the return. Or wherever the case might be. This is Ukraine, this is from Ukraine, you mean, yes? Ukraine. But, and I said the Ukrainian people are also happy. I don't know. I thought that this would be a good video. Alexander Lukashenko personally solicited for these people here. They're gutsy, man. They're fucking gutsy. He said to me, together with the Putin, When we have our people over there, then we will see who you really are. This is basically in respect to the incidents that follow up against me through 2017, through this bestiality performed on me in Belarus. There was a huge MKH and bestiality they performed on me. And figure out that I would be so fucking stupid at this point in time, obviously helpless because of their partners from the West, that I would be just basically saying to myself, oh, nice, how nice, man. Look, I got my Russian friends here. Yours, okay. No need to fear, good, very good for you. Oh. Desperate, obviously, to such a degree that I would see in this, in the threats of the Alexander Lukashenko and Putin, violence that raged throughout the Russian prisons and the psychiatric institutions where the Slovenian police with a psychiatrist would deliver me. And I would see this as a form of assistance, a help maybe, a welcome, a help to me, not to them. Based on which, if I would be nice to them, right? I don't know what the fuck they would offer me over there in the Belarus that I already didn't get, or in the Russia. But this is how satanistic this shit is. They build their future on a horror, on a crime, on atrocities, and they do it thanks to the safety they are exposed to inside of our own countries. This is what the horror is. This is the present state here in the Eastern Europe, thanks to George Bush, thanks to Donald Trump, thanks to Joe Biden, big thanks to Barack Obama. Bill Clinton was one of the best ever to have assisted this scumbaggery. Provided absolutely all the grounds, everything for George Bush, for the Vladimir Putin, is future presidencies, I should say, whatever derived from Obama and so on. So I thought that this would be really a good way for me to record what the Slovenian police is sending me my way, or what I should be looking forward to in my life, I guess. I guess that they came up to a conclusion that I would be just fine with almost anything that would come my way, and they probably assume that I'm already completely fucking crazy, and I don't even know anymore how much is 1 + 1. And I'll be honest with you, when you have a heart failure issue, you are in a problem because you get a very little sleep. But, like 3 hours sleep, that kind of stuff is happening. 4 hours sleep. But I'm not this fucking crazy yet. You're gonna have to wait just a little bit more, and maybe then in continuation, and when I'm not gonna know anymore about myself, who I am, and well, who gives a fuck about what then it's gonna be like, right? I just dedicated this video to people who watch this channel, so that you understand that if you did invest it in me, you did not invest it in a pure satanism, Luciferism to which we are witnessing throughout Europe. I mean, German politics and British politics and American politics, this is just extremely, extremely disappointing, and you can tell from far away this doesn't have any future for anyone. A lot of profits that had been made apart from all this is being wasted, and it's getting ready for problems in other parts of the Eastern Europe. I mean, you spread the fucking problem that you should have stopped it once it commenced. And instead of that, you encourage the Russian beer to return back and take more and, you know, become even ambitious about more and more. This is like nasty, filthy shit, ambition shit stuff here that I see. This is like unprecedented. This shit is, this is like stuff I'm gonna say that is like without total disrespect, totally out of control, totally, and lying to the people. But obviously, come on, calm the fuck down. Wake the fuck up. You're not lying to anybody, and this is going on the internet for people throughout the Europe, United States. It's in English language to see what this shithole Slovenian really is. So, you want to do it like this with me, then you have to face the hardcore reality about this whole thing. This shit is bizarre, totally. There is a pictures over there he already posted with during MK Ultra. He did here in Slovenia already. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what I said in this video. Slovenia is the gravest threat to humanity. If you don't understand, I am gonna go and scroll this one more time. Why I see this as the gravest threat. And I'm gonna say to all of you, thanks for watching this video. I don't know how much difference this is gonna make, but the courts, police, state prosecutors, and the society they're very, very hollow with what should have been assistance from the outside is actually in direct agreement with the Russians, with the Serbs, for recreation of the stuff that we already have gone through. Talking about the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia, Germans actually believe that this would push Eastern Europe more in the hands of the Germany, and I would say to the Germans that you're fucking crazy. I would say that you're fucking delusional. You don't even understand about what the fuck goes on. And if something isn't going to be done about this shit, Europe already is a huge loser, is going to become even bigger loser, because there is other countries already on the list of the Russian brother. Ruski brat že zahteva nove žrtve. Moldova, Latvia, Estonia. You're going to say it's going to be more bloodshed, more killing, and at one point in time, who the hell knows? Maybe they're going to click those buttons, those red buttons, and it's going to be and you're not going to have Europe on the map anymore. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You are empowering, encouraging Russians literally through the lack of response in Ukraine to just go. You're saying, go ahead, make my day, and then you turn to a Ukrainian side and you say, fuck you, and you step away, basically. I mean, I'm a living proof of your diplomacy, of how far a human can go to assist you and what exactly one has to expect in return. I don't think you won in my case. I think that you turn yourself into a big loser, and by every day they go past by, you're getting just a bigger and bigger loser. Thanks for watching this video. Hardly can I imagine that the city I would be from I would be so damn fucking happy to see one completely flattened, totally flat. from the country that I consider myself to be from, because I would leave already. I wouldn't wait for this shit to happen, and especially because it's a neighboring country. Russia is a neighboring country over there to Ukraine. Maybe this is why it's so important for the future of Ukrainian identity to tie knots, talking about the blood knots, as much as possible to the West. Ignore this Slavic customs, we are from Eastern Europe, so we are more related, we already know each other more and this and that. Fuck this. Maybe I want to think about your future. Maybe Ukrainian even doesn't want to go through another Holodomor. Maybe Ukrainian even instead wants to beat a nice girl from, let's say, Germany, let's say a Helga. They were extremely sensitive to a certain names, German or Germanic names. Or maybe a Ukrainian girl, let's say, wants to meet Hans or a Joseph or whatever, and instead of the starvation Holodomor, spending a life inside of the prison or the psychiatric hospital, maybe wants to build a family that will make her feel or him safe when Russians come for a visit. Maybe look at them like they are fucking crazy, because that's how they look at you when they come, wherever they come to the Eastern Europe. And when they look at you fucking crazy, when they do the stuff like this type of arrogant, satanistic approach, behavior, when they display this arrogance, murderous arrogance in the face, at least this is what I felt in my life, that I needed to do something in return and pay them back a favor in exactly the same way. Because what I wanted to do with them is I wanted to make them feel like as if they arrived, let's say, to the China or to the Germany or to whatever fucking place, that they understand that they have nothing to be there for, as far as I'm concerned. And life is also so much easier and better than with people respecting each other, understanding each other. It simplifies things so much, and it avoids the stupid Oreshnik ideas through and through. It makes things so much more understandable. Somebody had to speak about this stuff, folks. Somebody got to talk about this stuff, because really, seriously, nobody is talking about any of this stuff. Nobody talks about any of this stuff. Nobody dares to talk about any of this stuff. But Slovenia was part of the Germany for 1,300 years and have absolutely no ties other than hosting a Russian prisoners here in Slovenia to the Russia and or to the Serbia. And we end up in a situation like this because of this communist ideology after the World War II. Actually, already before, because of this Yugoslav sentiment. Before the Yugoslavia, it was a kingdom of the Serbs, Croats, Slovenes. Which was based on a total disrespect, total denial to some groups. I'm not going to say to their statehood or statehood of any kind, but even those that they dedicated the right to participate with their name in this creation of the state, they would just consider them as useless idiots, basically. The same way as the Russian did with under the Soviet Union to others within the Soviet Union, where they purged them, people through Abkhazia, through Chechnya, and even Kazakhstan and all those regions, before spreading themselves into, whatever they possibly could through Ukraine and so on, taking down everything. This is just fucking crazy. This is just fucking crazy. Repeating the same mistake and expect a different outcome, a positive actually outcome, right? Is truly a definition of the lunacy. Difference is what makes you. That's a national statehood. Being different. The reserve, the right to do something without others meddling in it. That's what you call a statehood. That's actually what makes you, that's what puts you on the map. Other than that, it's exactly what I described in this video. It's a saxophone. It's this thing here that he's doing. Which I told you, that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to having a fun when the bombs are going to be flying all over. They have a house over there back in wherever they're from. This is fucking crazy. Completely. I openly do incite people to take their rights to the next level. I do. I do. Because sometimes in a country you don't have any rights. And the way I describe them in this video, you take them to the next level. You make it different. You make it in such a way that you see yourself in a mirror for what you are. You see yourself as a human being. You project yourself as a human being. Not as a host of the parasites. That have you wait in a waiting line. This is stupid. Stupid to talk about. I was good in this video. I explained to you everything about what goes on. So I think that I did send you a good signal about where this case is and what to expect from this case. I remind you where your place is, who you are, and also where you are, and how I see you for what you are, why I see you. I also explain what Slovenian state is. This little Russian Serbian enclave here, bordering Italy and Austria. That much. As Alexander Lukashenko said, we will see how you will treat our people. But we're going to have a few our people come to you over there to Slovenia. Realizing that I was already fucking dead. He started to condition and precondition and this and that. This is the fucking Russian brother. This is what you want to have in your countries. This is what you want to affiliate yourself. You want to listen to your statesmen, your filthy police, your filthy judges, prosecutors, all kinds of garbage to condition you basically how to see yourself under this type of circumstances. They went on to promote, and you know how they do it? They use a human rights ombudsman. In Slovenia, I filed God knows how many complaints to the human rights ombudsman, and every Slovenian human rights ombudsman was involved in bestiality. They were all pro-Russians, pro-Serbs, every fucking one of them. They talk about the human dignity, human rights, and so on. They fucking slaughter people. And you want to go and want to give yourself a second thought about what the fuck to do with them. How to view them. Whether you want to see it for what it is, or you want to continue to convince yourself that you don't see whatever the fuck is concerning you every fucking day of your life? Whether you be at work or whatever it is that you do, this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse than this. These are the strong fundaments, stages that the Russia set for its return to the Eastern Europe, throughout the Eastern Europe. They come to wherever they come, whether that be in Poland, it's the same shit. And it was in America even, or wherever the hell it was. It was always the same fucking song. We the same, we Slavani, me Slavani. We are Slavs, all of us, we the same. Мы все Slavani, we Eastern European, мы все Slavani, да, нормально. Это добрые люди, не добрые люди. Good people and bad people, that's all there is. Мы все так, мы все сами Slavani, да, хорошие. Over there in Miami where I was. What fucking teaching me this language? In the eyes of the FBI and CIA storming me, getting salary of $5 an hour. They were fucking marrying the billionaires over there, millionaires I should say, running a Russian mafia business, bringing the money in the coffins to America, buying themselves apartments, all kind of throwing money away. This is truly, truly, truly a filthy stuff. And if you people want to stand up for yourself together and start to question these things, and I think they're all over the place the same. I don't know if it was anything in Hungary or Poland or Romania or wherever that they changed any police and threw them out and trained people and install their own police force, new police force upon the fall of the Soviet Union or something like this. I don't know if it was. All these structures of the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, it's all the same shit. It's still exactly where it was. We're still at the same location, still the same stuff. Nothing much changed. And really, people expect changes and stuff like this, but, you know, I don't see where the changes could come from. Changes don't happen to the stupid. They don't happen to the stupid. You have to invest something into. You have to sacrifice, you do. And a whole lot if you want changes. I don't belong to any of this. I don't belong to any of this political any of this. They keep electing the same garbage. It's a garbage that was not only Udba KGB individual, but yeah, I did describe him pretty well. The post that I demonstrated you is a really good. I described really well this whole thing about, you know, it's not only about whether this individual is a KGB, still he is a KGB or he is not, but it's about the fucking common sense that you're not going to allow, in my case, I will not allow for garbage like this to. He shadowed me since 91, involved himself, embedded himself, implicated himself into crime, into organized crime, theft, financial robberies, scam, and was caught by the police. They set him up. More likely, he himself set himself up so that he could explain in his own words, like his partners, that this independent Slovenia was just a big mistake. This is what they were teaching me. once the Slovenia became independent. Who these people were? This one was a police officer even during Yugoslavia. It became finally evident when the Slovenia became independent. I spoke in one of the videos about Ivan Kramberger. This guy was just a UDBA KGB apparatchik. This individual did not want... This was supposedly he was assassinated during the first presidential elections and lost presidency to Milan Kučan. Well, the fact of the matter is that this guy had doppelgangers involved in MK who were involved in torture. Interesting fact is that he personally knew about these doppelgangers, prided himself on collecting signatures for the sake of independent Slovenia, which, however, he started to collect after I totally rejected him, and by asking me if there is anything he can do to gain my trust, my confidence. I told him, start doing whatever others are doing. Others are collecting the signatures for the independence. The people started to call it March for Independence. So he started to proclaim and celebrate himself with it. But the fact of the matter is, he didn't even want money, funds for the Slovenian military upon the Slovenian independence, which was crucial and should be crucial in a process of cleansing Slovenian police from the Serbian ex-UDBA KGB murderous garbage that embedded itself inside. This one didn't want to have nothing to do. He didn't want to finance not even military, Slovenian military or anything like that. Supposedly he was assassinated. But what's interesting with these Slovenian psychopaths, maniacs, liars, is just as in the case of JANŠA and others, family of Ivan Kramberger were all the time assisted by Americans. It was Americans and Germans that would travel and deliver me to them. So they could torture me, so they could make money on the side, so they could take the spotlight, get attention, develop the plot. Son of this man here, I understand, became a police officer, heavily was involved in this, and desperately was convincing me in 2019, even all the way to 2019 and 2020, that I stand no chance to be alive. That was the son of the Ivan Kramberger, who, by the way, did visit our house, who, by the way, there was just a lot of stuff that went on about this. It's in our house that I told him to get the fuck out and I don't want to see him no more and that kind of stuff. I mentioned this because I mentioned it. Slovenia is full of all kinds of conspiracy theories, all kinds of garbage. It was even mentioned and presented to me during MK Ultra that he was actually not even killed. That kind of stuff we had going on. I was even blamed for his death. I don't even know what the fuck I would say about this stuff. But what's interesting is these people knew how to capture minds of the foreign delegates, foreign people. They knew how to lie. Well coordinated. This picture, this Slovenian picture, is so fucking twisted in world of conspiracies and lies, convincing that it's no wonder that people are just don't really know what's going on. And based on my idea, on what I have seen, just as was the case with the JANŠA, with Igor Baučar, with Luis PETERLE, Dmitry Rupel, I am trying to recall the name of this clown right now. This is supposed to be all the opposition of Milan Kučan, of these communists. This guy served a very, very important interest to Milan Kučan. When Slovenia became independent, he supposedly became shot, killed. They never resolved anything about his murder. In fact, they were actually questioning who did it and why did it and this and that. But Slovenia was always built on this terrorism, police terrorism, this garbage here we are talking about. Since I was a child, everybody was brought up in a fear. Everybody was taught they will shoot you, they will kill you before they will allow this. They will kill us all this my relatives always. Before they will allow the independent Slovenia, they will kill us all. They will this, they will, I don't know what the fuck they will. And then Slovenia cannot exist because it's too small, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that this man, in a parenthesis, was killed by this garbage here sounds to me more like a warning to the people in Slovenia, like saying basically, and not even by Milan Kučan, but the people that were in charge at the time, which was actually even JANŠA in a big way. This guy was a Ministry of Interior. This was a police chief back then. Basically saying to the people, listen, stay the fuck away. Do not participate in a democratic, in a parenthesis, process. Well, we have formed this new independent Slovenia. It was like a signal they sent. This is not a democracy. This is basically something that we can kill you if you will try to participate in democratic process. Because it was not only Ivan Kramberger that was interested in Slovenian politics, there was also other people. And so, who knows who Ivan Kramberger was, but a fact of the matter is that the signal they sent to the people was just such that all those other people that they... And he was a friend with the Milan Kučan, man. He was kissing Milan Kučan and stuff like this, hugging him. I just watched a video about his son, Kramberger. And the son of this individual, he is this here. He is talking about the sprava. He is talking about the truce. He is talking about how he forgave the killer, how he is calling on a truce, on a love, on a mutual and stuff like this. This is pretty much from the book of the Milan Kučan, this stuff. I mean, extremely, I'm not going to say forgiving, but extremely, extremely encouraging toward Milan Kučan. Extremely, extremely encouraging based on the stuff that I see here. He is just basically, he went basically a step higher than even if you would have an interview with the Milan Kučan, in my opinion, in his interview.
Gospod Kramberger, veliko ste se in se še ukvarjate s proučevanjem dediščine vašega očeta, na to temo pišete magistersko nalogo. Glede na to, kar veste o svojem očetu, menite, da je šlo za politični atentat in da je bil Peter Rotar samo orodje v njenih rokah?
Zdaj, glede na to, da je moj oče bil politik, je nedvomno šlo za politični atentat, saj je bil ubit politik. Glede na vsa dejstva in okoliščine in na delo, ki so ga takrat preiskovalci opravili, menim, da je Peter Rotar bil dejansko tisti strelec, ki je ubil mojega očeta. Dejanje sem mu na nek način odpustil, saj v življenju moramo odpuščati. Če pa ni bil...
Yeah, he forgave him because he is here to forgive on this world. A killer of his father.
Peter Rotar se mi pa porav vprašanje, kdo je bil in zakaj.
Vi ste Petra Rotarja, ki je umoril vašega očeta, naključno srečali. Kako je to srečanje izgledalo, pravite, da ste mu odpustili?
Ja, sem aktivni krvodajalec, tudi danes sem zjutraj častil pol litra krvi in pot me je zanesla na krvodajalsko akcijo tudi v Jurovski dol. Pogostitev po krvodajalski akciji je bila naključno v gostilni Špindler v Jurovskem dolu in mogel sem mimo domovanja Petra Rotarja. Postavil sem se pred vhodom, videl gospoda Rotarja pred hišo, ga pozdravil, gospod Rotar se obrnil, zamahnil in odšel hišo, tako da neke večje komunikacije razen pozdrava nisem imela. Tudi nikoli v življenju me ni kontaktiral ali se kako drugače upravičil za svoje dejanje, ki ga je storil.
In vi ste mu kljub temu odpustili. Velika gesta.
Ja, pogovarjal je ljudi. Potem v samem času osamosvojitvene vojne v beli obleki stopil na bojišča in preprečeval, da ni prihajalo še do hujših zločinov oziroma še hujših morij. Tako da dejansko je bil zelo povezan tako z predosamosvojitvenimi procesi kot osamosvojitvenimi in potem tudi po osamosvojitvenimi, ko je kandidiral za predsednika oziroma napovedal kandidaturo za predsednika. Danes pa, ko pogledamo današnjo politiko, vidimo, da se nekateri vseeno poskušajo zgledovati po Ivanu Krambergerju in širijo nauk, vendar so pri tem ali manj uspešni ali pa ne znajo na tak način, kot je to znal Kramberger, nagovoriti ljudstvo.
Pravite, da je bilo njegovo življenje težko. V Slovenijo je prišel iz Nemčije. V tistih časih se je pisalo, da je patentiral aparat, ki ne uničuje zdravih krvnih celic pri dializi.
Drži, oziroma, da vas popravim, naredil je izboljšavo na dializnem aparatu. Vsekakor je to bilo nekaj drugačnega, da nekdo, ki živi v tujini, pošilja z domcem tako dializne aparate kot zavržena zdravila, ne samo z domcem v Jugoslavijo, oziroma ne samo v Jugoslavijo, tudi na Poljsko, na Turčijo in povsod drugod po Evropi, manj razviti Evropi, kjer je primanjkovalo teh zdravstvenih pripomočkov. Tako da več kot 40 dializnih aparatov je bilo podarjenih širom Jugoslavije, enormna denarna sredstva, ki se merijo v več 10.000 nemških markah in zdravil, ki so dejansko pomagala potem bolnišnicam po širom Jugoslavije.
Kako pa gledate na njegova takratna največja politična tekmeca Milana Kučana in dr. Jožeta Pučnika?
Dejansko bili so prijatelji. Če pogledamo velikonočno kosilo, lahko bi dejali, da je šlo za kosilo sprave, so dejansko bili prijatelji. Dejansko bili so za isto mizo, se veselili, kljub temu, da smo vedeli, kdo sta kandidata drugega kroga, so vseeno vsi štirje bili združno skupaj in dejansko nekako, kako so temu rekli, proslavili volitve, ki so bile za njimi in bodoče za naprej.
Ali tudi vas morda zanima politika, vas bomo videli v njej?
Sam sem dejal, da še nisem zrel za aktivno politiko, vendar nikoli ne reci nikoli in zarečenega kruha se ne več poje. Če bom kdaj aktiven, bom vsekakor ustanovil svojo stranko in nadaljeval po očetovih
He is just very talkative about the Yugoslavia. Somehow the Yugoslavia, the son of the Kramberg, cannot get out of his head. And the second thing that is the best is he talks about how his father was sitting together with the Milan Kučan at the same table, how they were hugging each other and stuff like this. So this is pretty, I'm going to say...
Vaša njegova politična zapuščina, kaj prinese v Sloveniji
V obdobju osamosvanja je prinesel ogromno. Njegova zapuščina je še danes živa. Če pogledamo, začel je prvi z nagovarjanjem ljudi za razpis referenduma za odcepitev Jugoslavije.
This guy is insane. He says that he was the first one who started with going out of Yugoslavia for the Slovenes to go out of the Slovenia. This is lunatic. This I don't have, actually I'm not interested even in listening to that stuff.
Ljudi in mori, glede za predvseno, poiskal Kramberger na Jugoslavijo, bili si za isto mizo, in upam.
Ja, bili so za isto mizo, they were at the same table, yes.
Predsednika nagovori vašega bilo policije. Zakaj?
Zakaj ni bilo?
There has been already documentation on the internet that this man was actually belonging also to the UDBA, to the KGB. So this is for me important. I was brought to him, to his son that you see it, to all these people over there by Americans over and over again who saw themselves in this family. I have absolutely nothing to do nor with his son and nor with this individual, and well, couldn't be more disappointed than with the people that such as this Kramberger family, not only Kramberger, but entire thing. I don't go for this. I don't need any of this stuff. I met him in person. I see him in person. Why the fuck would he even... Is this here it? Then this here probably explains really good. I didn't even know about this stuff here, but that's a beautiful sweater right there. None of it, none of the people that that participated in this thing, I don't see myself in this. I haven't seen any politically affiliated people that Slovenes that I would see myself in them. I do not. If I just get this picture here, and it's quite priceless.
Ali menite, da je Ivan Kramberger imel vpliv na demokratizacijo naše družbe?
Jaz mislim, da je prispeval močno k civilnih korajži.
Naše družbe.
Jaz mislim, da je prispeval močno k civilnih korajži.
Kramberger lavi samo ljudstvo, da bomo vsi skupaj delali in pošteno živeli.
To je bilo takrat izjemno pomembno, ker so bili nekateri, ki so govorili, da če gremo ven iz Jugoslavije, da bomo jedli travo.
Ker je do mene volil moja lasi, ne želim biti predsednik.
Jaz tudi mislim tako.
Da pač meni osebno najbolj benga, ne, Kramberger.
Barve sem zmeraj bil bele in
Pač meni osebno najbolj benga, ne, Kramberger.
Barve sem zmeraj
He would be 90 years old if he would be still alive today. This so-called Slovenian independence politicians, they love him. They talk a lot of shit, but they don't want to talk about the stuff I have entered over there in the search engine. He actually demanded the no money for the Slovenian military. He demanded no money. He wanted to starve Slovenian military. He wanted to completely demilitarize. He didn't want to have the Slovenian military. Why the fuck would you not want to have the Slovenian military? You fucking answer to me this question. Where the hell is the problem as a Slovenian? If you were in a Yugoslavia, where do you have a guts to come out and during the Slovenian, already independent Slovenia, you insist that Slovenia should have no Slovenian military? That it's too much money spent on the Slovenian military when Slovenian military was basically at the beginning. And the neighbor, Croatian neighbor, was in a full war with Serbia. What kind of a president this is? This man is a stepway between Milan Kučan, I should say Yugoslavia, and what back then was. And what back then was actually people wouldn't take the Serbian shit no more. They wanted Serbs out. They didn't want to have nothing to do with it anymore. And this was the guy who mentally returned people back into some times of the Yugoslavia, even that the border was drawn as independent Slovenia, which there was no way to do it any other way, since the Croatia was now bordering Slovenia and no longer Yugoslavia, I should say Serbia. This is what this guy was. This guy did not want the money for the Slovenian military back then. So I don't give a shit about Slovenian military in the whole thing. But this is the situation that was back then. So there was a big interest about what I think about him, how I see him, and this is exactly the way I see him. I think he was a violent manipulator. He was involved in a torture. He was involved in manipulations, lies. And he was a good friend of Milan Kučan. He had KGB people coming to him. He did met on the side with them. He was part of this system. And, you know, he sent a clear signal to the people that talking too loudly could even end your life with a sniper. That much about all this stuff. I don't have a good opinion about absolutely any of these Slovenes, because I know they are all the same brothers. I know where they are coming from. I know where this stuff came from. I know how Slovenia became independent. I was in the epicenter of this, and when I look at his son, the way he was coming here in our house, This is his profession. So I don't want to hear about this garbage no more. This violent shit was coming in our house all the way even to 2020 to... He spoke something about America, this, America will not allow you, America, everything was America, America will not, and this and that and so on. He was completely obsessed with this case and built entire police career, everything in his life through the crime against me. So there's no reason for me to give a crumble of trust in a piece of shit like this. I call him a piece of shit. This is a piece of shit, okay? This is a piece of shit, okay? And the interview that he gave was to be a signal for me about what I see, how I feel, not what I see and how I feel, but how my case is going to end. Because this guy talked about how if I will do good or whatever, that he will go for the politician and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And even that he's going to post video as in here based on the signal that he will get from the United States of America. Yeah. He wanted absolutely to see myself as dead, this individual right here, and all the way to 2020 when he still have with the police control over me. This is a KGB apparatchik in my opinion, proven based on what you see right there. It can't be any other way. And you give a shit like this, you give him a credit because he's a younger generation, and you have a disease going into the next generation basically, because they grow disease separately to different generations. And they grow this disease through the world of conspiracies. Otherwise, people would express no interest in the same shit. That's all there is to it. Thank you for watching this video. It's very important stuff. It goes into the category of this same subject. It goes into the category of the same garbage, the same stuff. This is how they ran Slovenia. It's always through the conspiracy theories. They always lie, people. They always do. But remember, I'm 54 years old now, and they did not resolve this case for no less than 54 years. This is a one and only case that lasted for 54 years. They elected themselves a JANŠA right now because they feel that the truth might come from abroad, from other country, from somewhere else. It's dangerous, and this is not the first time they do it like this. They always did. This is the Slovenian way. They lie when they open their mouths, then you know that they lie. This is the way it is. That's what this is. This is a Slovenian right here, did you see? This one is going to replace me. He's going to become just as Slovenian as I am. He is studying a beautiful Slovenian language. It's beautiful. And this is what it is. The plan is that's the idea. The idea is to erase everything, a real identity, everything that pertains to Slovenia. Vladimir Putin studied names on a local graveyard here in Šmichel, just as I described here. And started together with a Serbian, Aleksandar Vučić, to claim me, to convince me that there is people with the same last name as myself in Serbia, that they were, and even the day we came from the Serbia, and there is people with my name inside of the Russia, with the Sergei Laro. They became crazy obsessed with the idea to manufacture basically the names based literally on the graveyard, and demanded from me to acknowledge all kinds of Ispeljanka, I don't know how you say that, but derivations to claim that this is a Russian name, and it's the Russian name with the same people, with the same last names they have throughout the Russia. It's the same people, and blah, 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 blah. Shit that I have seen, that I participated in it, is a fucking madness. Something really that needed to be talked, something that needed to be explained. What's going on today here? And we have never have stuff like this, but this was actually a Russian Hitler who was visiting this house. So, and no wonder he left some traces behind his visits. together, however, this is what is regretful, because it wouldn't happen without Americans. Man, I even became an American citizen in the process. I actually demonstrated the will, the power, the ability, the goal, and get it done. How far, and despite everything, how much you can be betrayed. I'm quite proud about myself.